the strangest feeling to know what to believe in. Cause every time you touch me, I can't control my body. Oh, baby, you are on my mind, all I think about, and I don't wanna stop.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the Real Zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and friends, featuring Coach D. Featuring Coach D with these messy Sundays. These messy Sundays are getting hot, real hot, real hot. Topic tonight, keeping secrets, keeping secrets, keeping secrets. Right here on the B2G Unity TV network, right here on the B2G Unity network. TV.com, right there on the Roku channel. Good stuff. Let's bring Coach D in real quick. Hey.
Hey there, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I just knocked over all my lip gloss. I am doing good.
You're doing great. Good stuff.
Xavier's down there grinding on my laptop, so I'm on my phone, so that just tells me I need to get him a laptop. So I can get mine back.
Man. All good, man. It feels good to be back into the swing of things, man. We recorded the show that actually aired, it actually aired already. It was released on the day that we actually recorded it, man. That was a pretty good show, giving people the informative information, and it was great work on your part, as always. Good stuff.
Yeah. I love informing people,
Exactly.
The more educated we are, the better decisions we make.
Absolutely. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's called Modern Day Lynching. And we went in, and Coach D had a ton of stuff that she actually researched and just fed everybody, including myself. So good stuff. I learned some stuff I didn't know about these situations going on in Mississippi. So I encourage you guys to check it out at the B2GUnityTV.com, right there on the Roku channel. Good stuff. Modern Day Lynching. Also, Brother Romael and I did a very special conversation on Thursday night. Remember that situation that happened out in Chicago where this guy was brutally attacking this woman? Did you see it? Brother Romael and I talked about it. I want to talk about it with men because I want to know the current state of men's mindset, man, especially Black men's mindset on why would you stand there and allow a woman to be brutalized and attacked like that? I wanted to get inside the mind of a Black man. Why would he even allow that to happen? On camera, these guys were running in and out of this place as this guy was brutally attacking this woman. I was lost for words. Go ahead.
Listen, Tupac said it for crime that Black women is the most unprotected woman.
Absolutely.
That it was true then, it's true now.
Absolutely.
And people are like, oh, D, that's not true. I'm like, how many videos do I need to show you where it proves it's true?
Hey, it's definitely true. And I was very disappointed and I was more disappointed at the brothers that was there that allowed that to escalate. instead of de-escalating the issue, they ran.
Well, you want to get really
Literally.
disappointed. Go on social media to the men who are defending him hitting her,
That's crazy.
just saying she should have hurried up. Like, what the heck?
That's crazy. That's a mental
So,
illness. That's crazy. So let's get down to
yeah,
the topic. What did you come up with this one? Messy Sundays. Here we go with keeping secrets.
this actually came up, I think, like one of the very first one of the very first conversations on with you. We were talking
Okay.
about outside families or something. So then I was
Good
like,
stuff.
well,
Good stuff.
let's talk about keeping secrets, because it's come up again and
Exactly.
again with like people hiding kids, protecting the pedophile uncle, and all the
Exactly.
stuff that goes on. I'm like, no, it's toxic. We need to cut. The vast majority of secrets people are keeping are harmful to other
Absolutely.
people.
Let's say hi
So
to the folks real quick before we get going.
let me
Let me
get
pull
in
them up
there one
here.
second.
I
I'll
got you.
try
There you
not
go.
to
I
lose.
got you.
No, I can pull it up. I just have to make sure that when I come back that I'm
Oh, got you. Got you. Got you.
yeah.
Okay.
So Kathy has joined us. Happy Sunday evening, everybody. And Miss
Hey,
Deja's
beautiful.
back. Thank you,
Hey,
Miss
Deja.
Deja.
Actually, hey, Deja, how you doing? That's my niece. I had a wonderful time with her and my great nephew on yesterday. They came over to the house and we got some lunch and hung out with them. We got some pizza and all that stuff. And Kobe fell in love with her and all that good stuff. So good stuff. Spent some good time with Deja yesterday.
That's good. Sounds
Yes,
great.
sir. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about secrets. Um, Secrets are very rarely helpful, unless it's a surprise party.
Right.
But even then, if
Right.
the person that's being surprised does not like surprise parties, it's no longer helpful. It becomes
Exactly.
harmful. Because
Exactly.
but here's the thing: why do we insist on keeping secrets? Like nowadays, people are talking. I was reading an article. People were complaining about the DNA tests are breaking families up. I'm like, DNA tests aren't breaking families up. People keeping secrets are breaking families up, right? Because what's done in the dark always comes to light. Always, you know.
Right. Right. Right.
Eventually, people will find out what happened. Somebody walking into a store, they see somebody who looks exactly like them. It's like,
Yeah, absolutely right.
you
When
know,
we talk about secrets, man, and as I got older and became an adult and acquired the tools to actually move forward in life in a positive manner.
mhm,
Like half my life was on a big secret that no talk about. Well, no, we can't talk about what happened with your dad and why he left and
mhm,
all that stuff. And it wasn't from my mother. It wasn't from my mother at all. My mother
yeah,
told me everything. That's how I learned about it.
mhm,
But it was a huge cover up
oh yeah,
that I took great issue with. That was the reason for writing the Four Horsemen book.
mhm, yeah,
Because I needed to get that out because one, I wanted to make sure that my mother was vindicated for a
mhm,
huge lie that was going on since I was a child, like 3, 4 years old.
right,
And I mean, after all the research I did and all that stuff, and I just put it in a book, put it
yeah,
in a book, put it in a book. And the thing about it, when we keep secrets and we hide these things from our kids, what really happened,
mhm,
man, kids are very strong. They're stronger than we ever thought that they'd be. They're very strong. They can
mhm.
handle anything.
No,
Be
I
honest with
wouldn't
you,
say that.
sometimes, honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes kids handle things a little better than adults.
No, they don't. They don't handle it. Kids are emotionally unavailable to handle adult things.
Here's the
They
thing though. But why lie to the kid, D? Now we
you
talking
should
about
you
personal
should never
issue with me.
yeah
Go
you
ahead.
should
What's
never
that?
lie to children.
Thank you. That's all
You
I'm
should never
saying.
lie to children. But the thing is, you should not expect those children to be able to handle adult issues either.
I agree. I totally agree. But as a kid, I was very I wanted to know what happened.
Hmm.
I couldn't get the straight answer from my father. I
Yeah,
couldn't get the straight answer from my stepmother. So I went to the source. I got
yeah,
them from my mother.
yeah. Most kids will ask questions. They're very perceptive,
Exactly.
and kids listen. Kids hear a lot more things than people realize a lot of times, so they know what's going on. So
Exactly. Exactly.
hiding things from them rarely works out well.
It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. It's best to place everything on the table, man. I mean, you gotta be mindful and I agree with you. You have to be guarded on certain things with them until they're of age to understand.
Yeah,
I
but
agree with
in
that part.
in the case of any relationship breakup where there's children involved, you should always get the children in therapy immediately, so they
Boom.
have somebody who can assist them in dealing with it, who's a neutral
One more
source.
time. One more time for the people in the back who didn't hear you.
If there's a relation breakup and there's children involved, you should always get the children in therapy immediately.
Absolutely. Totally
Right.
agree. Totally agree.
So
I
here's
see
the
your
thing.
ass, Al. What's going on, Al?
Here's the thing. I always find it amazingly intriguing why people think that secrets will never come out.
Go ahead.
Okay, like it's. I don't know. Sometimes people keep secrets because of guilt and shame, and I get
Right.
that because there's a lot of people who's like in the instance where young women have had children, and then the older sister or the aunt raises the child,
Right.
right? They're trying to protect them and all this stuff, but there's a lot of things that are done just to protect egos and to protect people who shouldn't be protected. Like a lot of
Right.
families will protect a pedophile who is directly harming family members.
I never understood that. Like, why would you openly protect a pedophile from? He's a known rapist.
because
I
they're
never understood that.
because they have trauma from that same person.
Wow.
Yeah.
In some cases,
So
in most
it's
cases,
I don't know if I've lost you or not, or if I'm still here. Oh,
I'm still here. Everything's
do you
still
still
good.
steal me? I see a recording error.
No, we're still good. We're good.
Okay. All right. So there's here's the thing. When people are protecting somebody who has harmed them, they're not
Mhm.
so much protecting them for the other person, but for themselves. Because then their
Detail.
story will come out. Right? Because then people will know that they were a victim. And there's a
Right.
lot of shame and guilt involved with that. That a
Right.
lot of people will take on responsibility for actions that have occurred to them that they had no responsibility for.
Well, people need to understand though, you do more harm than anything, just hiding it, covering it up.
But look at how people are treated when they come forward. People are dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
You know, we've had judges say that underage children asked for it. Look at how they behaved. Look at how they acted. Like our judicial system when it comes to sexual assault of women and children is
Right.
abysmal.
And this is why we do shows like this and we
Yeah.
speak on this type of stuff where it's okay to speak out. There are people out there that actually walk with you.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna I'm not an advocate of being quiet. Nah, say it.
Yeah, nope.
Speak up.
I am all for, as people say, snitching. Because guess
Exactly.
what? Snitching, it protects your community. It protects your kids, it protects your aunties, your nieces, your nephews, your sisters, your brothers. That's
Exactly.
what our goal should be in the community, is protecting each other. Here in Baltimore, we just had a mass shooting.
Right.
2 people are dead and 30 people are injured in a hospital. And it's a
When did that
come to
happen?
Jesus moment. Hmm?
When did that happen?
I think that was Friday night.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it's Friday night. I'd have to double check. It was either either late
Okay.
Friday night or, but yeah, it's and people are saying you have to come forward in the community to
You have to, man.
tell people what's going on. But here's the thing: the
Exactly.
police in Baltimore can't be trusted. They're dirty.
Here's the
They're
thing.
dirty.
I give you a prime example, right?
Yeah.
It's a funny situation because of who we are in this neighborhood to folks that know us.
Hmm.
But we had some problems here with kids riding ATVs and some adults riding ATVs, right? Up and
Right.
down, just unlawful type shit. So I called my local councilman, got a speed monitor out there and everything, drones and everything. Now I'm the bad guy in the neighborhood, but they're not gonna bother me because they know what's up with that. They're not gonna bother
Mhm.
me. But everyone on the block is upset with me because I actually stopped it.
Yeah.
Because I stopped it. Oh, you snitching. What do you mean? You crazy. That you hey, if you can't afford to take that ATV to the country,
Yeah.
sell it.
Yeah.
Sell it. But I said that to say now I'm known as the snitch of the neighborhood, but it's a quiet snitch because they know they don't want to cause no trouble,
Yeah.
so they leave it alone. But nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that up and down the street type stuff and call me what you want to do behind my back.
Yeah.
But
We had
when you knock on that door, it's another thing.
we had that in just down the road from me. Here's the thing though, that is the country. And there was a lady complaining that they shouldn't be out in the ATVs, and I was I was like, they're in the country. They have permission from the farmer to run
Yeah,
through his
well, I mean,
field.
I get that, but I'm talking on the street. They can't
Yeah.
have these things. It's on the street, on in the neighborhood. Like, come
Oh yeah,
on,
we
man.
get that here all the time. Not
Yeah,
here in my neighborhood because there's a lot of
right.
cops here, but in the city they have that problem. In Baltimore they have that
Yeah, well,
problem.
I'm not having it. I'm not
Yeah,
having it.
but
But yeah,
you know
but
what?
yeah,
It's Here's the thing: when if we can't protect people who we shouldn't protect people who are causing harm.
thank
Is
you.
basically the problem. Like, sure, there's lots of secrets from back in the day when people were having side kids and illegitimate kids and hiding stuff and second
Wait,
wives and
wait, wait, wait.
all that stuff,
So why
right?
they gotta be illegitimate kids?
Well, that's technically the term. If they're see, Canadian law is a little different than in many states. They're the
Educate
father
us,
can't
man.
the father can't go on the birth certificate if they're not married. Back when I was born,
Are
way
you
back in the
serious?
70s.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah. So
Okay,
there's different laws in different parts, but here's the thing: if like, why hide that stuff? Like
exactly. Just hey, it is
30,
what it
40 years
is.
later, you know? Because
Yeah,
people
it
then
is what it
DNA
is.
then people have DNA tests, and Ancestry.com just posts all your matches,
Yeah,
and
it
everybody's
is.
like, I'm like, Ancestry.com can be messy as heck. But here's the
Exactly.
thing: like, why why hold that back, that information even after the DNA test come out? It's like people are still, I see it in different genealogy groups. Well,
Right.
they're denying that I'm their kid. I'm like, well, you got a genealogy test that has like
It is what it is,
1800.
man. You just gotta give it up.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but there's this so much shame, I guess, and guilt because they've kept the secret so long,
Right.
and some people are very stubborn. But it's intriguing. I just like how the mind works. So 1 second, there's comments. Yeah, that's just Alvin. But yeah, it's intriguing how people think that what they're doing won't catch up to them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
very very rarely will we not get caught up. Even if you don't get caught up, it'll come out after you die,
Exactly. That's it.
right?
I mean, you might as
So just
well then just give it up. I mean, might as well just say it and just be done with it and deal with it. I've always
yeah,
been the type of person, tell me the truth. Let's deal with it.
mhm,
Let's face it. If I still want to deal with you, cool. If not, nice knowing you.
yeah,
Let's just get past it. Get past it and move forward.
yeah. Like, it's interesting because I'm the type of person who's like, okay, and that's what happened. All right, life goes on,
Right, right,
right?
right, right.
But not everybody is like that.
Nah,
You know,
not at all.
I remember I had one friend came out to me. We were walking across a parade square, which is inside a building, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, how's so and so?" They go, "Oh, I'm gay." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you got a boyfriend?" And we just kept walking. And she just stopped and looked at me. She's
Keep it moving.
like, "You just hear what I said?" I'm like, "Yeah. Has anything changed between us?" She's like,
Right.
"No." Well, then I asked a question. So, do you have a girlfriend? She's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, let's keep moving then. That's it. You
People
are the same
complicate,
person."
man. We complicate more things than none, man. Just everything
Oh,
is just, you know what I'm saying? Just open up, say it, talk about it.
it is. Be honest and transparent, because
That's it.
eventually you'll die, and then people will be like, why didn't they tell us when they were alive? What's the
Yeah,
big deal?
exactly.
Mm. But I
Exactly.
don't know. Sometimes people are very stubborn and want to protect a vision of themselves that they put out there for others. And so
Which means they've lived in a facade. They've been
mhm,
in this
yep,
facade, they've been in this bubble and don't want that perfect bubble to pop.
yeah, oh
It's
yeah,
so rewarding, man, when you pop the bubble. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's so rewarding when you pop that bubble.
yeah.
You could live. Once you pop the bubble, you could live. You don't
Listen,
have to pretend.
life is interesting, and we can't be held responsible for the actions of others. We can only
Exactly.
be held responsible for our actions. I remember in college, I went to a friend's dorm,
Right.
and she had pictures, like a photo album, because this is, the 90s. We still had photo albums.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
she's like, I was like, oh, are those family pictures? She's like, yeah. And in the pictures, she had pictures of people in clan robes. And I was
What?
like, yeah. I was like, ma'am. And she's like, yeah, that's my uncle's. And I was like, you should have said something. She's like, we don't really talk to them because of how they are. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I get that. That's honest. She's
At
like,
least she
yeah.
was up front. At least she was
She
up front about it.
she was
So
very upfront, and we had a
yeah.
long talk about it. And she's like, I don't know how they think that way, because my father was raised in the same family. He doesn't think that way at all. So it's intriguing, because her mother is mixed, right?
Right.
So she looks white, but her mother's mixed.
So
And
let's.
so I never knew her mother was mixed at all.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because she's blonde hair, blue eyes. You would never know.
Right. So
And her
let's
mother
get
has
down
white
to let's get
skin.
down to how secrets harm kids.
Um, well,
How does it
secret.
affect kids? Let's get to the trauma of it.
So what it is when you withhold information, but behavior has changed. That's where the trauma starts, because what happens, especially with kids in, say, divorce. So you divorce, you don't tell the kids the reasons why. The first thing
Right.
kids do is blame themselves,
Right.
because they're kids. They have no information, so it's something I must have done.
Right.
That's the general consensus. So that's why it's so important to get them into therapy right away, so that
Right. Right.
they can understand that it's not them. And adults can be very bitter and self-serving,
That's true. I
right?
give an
And so
example.
they not wanting to either, one, take responsibility of the actions they've done,
Right.
even if the children have caught them in those actions,
Yeah.
or just not wanting to be the villain in the story,
Exactly. I tell you
right?
something so
But
funny, and I tell you
go
something
ahead.
so funny. You know it. The viewing audience, some of them probably know it if they read that book. But Kennedy was told a totally different story than what
Hmm.
really went down with her mother and I.
Hmm.
But Kennedy was fed this lie for years until I released Chapter to Delta.
Yeah.
So once Kennedy got of age and she got her own credit card and she ordered on Amazon and read the book.
Hmm.
And her mother calls me up. Oh, she got the book. I was like, okay. But she's gonna know. Okay, yeah, oh, yeah. She's gonna know.
And
She definitely gonna get that truth. She gonna get that work. And after she read the book, she wanted to move back with me, which she did. So she
hmm.
came. We enrolled her in school here in Louisiana, and all that stuff. But that's an example of hiding things from kids. But the
Oh yeah.
reason I didn't say anything to Kennedy because it wasn't my story to tell.
Hmm.
That wasn't for me to tell at all. Because like I told my ex-wife, I was like, hey, that's gonna come back. That's
Hmm.
gonna
It
come
always
back.
it always does.
And it circled back when she entered high school. She was a freshman in high school and she got her own credit card and she got her own Amazon account and she picked that book up.
Oh yeah. Kids will find out. Kids kids will see things and not say anything, right?
Absolutely.
Like Xavier was in his room playing, singing a song, saying so and so is a poopy head, who so and so was the side chick.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did you handle that?
I went down. I said, why is Xavier using this woman's name? What is
Right.
going on? What has he heard? What is going on? So then I didn't get the answers I wanted, and because I am who I am, I went and checked the phone records. So
Wait, wait,
it
wait,
is
wait.
what it is.
So wait. You and Kevin were still together. When did this
Mhm.
happen?
Oh yeah.
Come on, finish giving me the tea. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. He was taking Xavier prior to this woman arriving. He never took Xavier to like playgrounds or anything like that. Then all of
Right.
a sudden he started taking him to the playgrounds and everything. I'm like, and I'm big on behaviors
Right,
and
right, right.
changes of behaviors. I won't say I see a change of behavior, but I will note it in the
Right,
back of
right,
my head.
right.
So
Right.
this was going on and on. I'm like, that's odd. So then we were going, then they were going to Delaware to visit his father. And then I asked Xavier coming back one time, how was the ride? He goes, Daddy was talking to Cassandra the whole time. I'm like, and I looked
Wait,
at his father, and his father's like, I wasn't talking to her the whole time. I'm like, so
how old was Xavier at that time?
3, 4. I think it was 4.
Right, right,
I'd have to I could double check the phone records. But Xavier has always been very intuitive,
right,
like, and very he can sense if somebody's emotions are changing.
right.
So he knows if he's being lied to. So
Exactly.
it is what it is, and like he already knows what's going on. So you know, just be honest and tell the truth. So
Exactly.
because I don't I believe in having the type of relationship with Xavier that when he gets older and he hits those terrible teens, that he will choose to come to me to tell me things, which, as you
Exactly.
know, he's already done since puberty has hit. So it's important to cultivate that honest relationship with children. And if you
Absolutely.
break their trust, it's hard to rebuild
It's hard
trust.
to rebuild it. Hard to
Yeah. So
rebuild.
if you keep secrets, especially secrets that will, if not told, will cause more harm than good.
Right, right.
I mean,
Let's get to the comment real quick. Hey, what up, brother? Who I don't know who this is. It's coming
no,
across as a Facebook user. If you could identify yourself, I could address you properly, brother. What's your name?
yeah,
Appreciate
he
you
just
for
says
tuning in.
what up, brother. So I don't know who that is. But yeah, like another secret people keep from kids is parents who are very ill.
Right.
Right? Like if you're and I get that they don't want to tell their children because sometimes they don't want to have that conversation.
1 second, 1 second. That's Kimberly. Hey,
What,
Kimberly. Hey, that's from the topic from Miami. Remember I was telling you about the
what's
one we
that?
did, the Miami topic we did with the mother, the toxic mother.
Oh, okay.
That
Oh,
was from
her,
her.
yeah.
That was from her neighbor. That's
Oh,
Kimberly brought the topic. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing, sister? Good
cool.
stuff. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's I always tell people try not to keep secrets because secrets keeping never works because you have to lie and you have to consistently lie,
Exactly.
and eventually the lie you'll forget the lie because it's not the
That's
truth. So
right.
it all eventually will come tumbling down. So
That's right.
you know, honesty may hurt a bit at the beginning, but you can work through honesty. A secret
Exactly.
kept for decades only causes more pain.
And trauma.
Yeah, and trauma, exactly.
Yeah, and trauma.
So,
I've witnessed that over the years, man, where, even with my siblings, the four of us,
mm-hmm,
like for me, and I was always told that, oh, it didn't affect you like that because you were so young. No, that's not it. I was just more into questioning my father and asking him more questions than my siblings did. Like, yo,
right.
man, I need to know what's going on. What happened with this? So
Yes.
when I became a man, I wanted to know. And we had to have an adult talk. Hey, let's talk about it. I've
Yeah.
always been that kid that wanted to talk about things. That's why he always called me his lawyer. He was like, "Oh, you always want to talk about stuff. You're my little lawyer." I've been talking to
Mm-hmm.
my dad like this since I was 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
And he always gave me the real. Once I talked to him, I was like, "Hey, man, if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna talk to Nan. Somebody gonna give it to me."
Yeah. That's why I call Xavier my little justice of the peace, my little
There it is.
Supreme Court justice.
Exactly. We got another comment here. 1 sec.
Oh,
You want me to pull it up or you got it?
no, I can pull it up. It just takes me a
Okay,
second.
got you.
Um, Kathy says, kids are smart. You may think your actions and words are not heard and seen. As I was going through my divorce, I never spoke badly about my son's father. My son said he knew his dad had cheated. Oh, by his actions and the way he treated me. Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay.
kids pay attention. Kids know. And here's the
Exactly.
thing. Kids will decide, um, but eventually even kids who decide to be with the other parent will see what that
Exactly.
parent's like eventually.
Hey, Kimberly,
You know?
topic tonight is keeping secrets. We call it Messy Sundays, and we decided to go with keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's it's honesty always works so much better.
Absolutely.
You can break generational trauma cycles with honesty. If
Absolutely.
somebody's got a uncle who should be in jail for pedophilia, who should be for molesting their brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever, turn that
Absolutely.
sucker in, man.
That's it.
There's no honor in
That's it.
protecting somebody who harms children. None whatsoever.
And we
You know,
have it real bad, and I got to be honest about this. We're plagued with that real bad in the black community. Well, we want to hide the pedophile. We want to hide the rapist.
yeah.
I mean, it's been going on for decades.
Oh yeah.
Decades
One
upon
in
decades where you're hiding the uncle, you're hiding the dad. Come on, man. Call them
yeah.
out, get it done, and get them over it.
If you talk to black women, everybody knows somebody who's been assaulted or raped. You talk to
Exactly.
black men, they don't know anybody who's raped anybody. I'm like, well,
I'm gonna be I'm
that
gonna be
statistics don't match up.
I'm gonna be transparent here for a moment. I won't mention any names, but in all my life of dating, more than half of them have been assaulted.
Hmm. Yep.
I just gave them a comfortable space to speak to me and talk to me about it because I was always wondering what was going on, why they were acting a certain way. But more than half the women I've dated have been sexually assaulted by a family member.
Yeah. It's probably more than that. The other ones just haven't said anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
statistically, because here's the thing. If you talk to women and ask them the age a man first said something inappropriate to them, you will be shocked by the
It's gonna
ages
be
they come
very
out with.
young. It's gonna be very
Very
young.
young. Yep.
And
And
that
we don't
shit's
mean
not
like
okay. So for the
16,
folks, if you're
17. We
going
like,
through, if somebody's going through like that, if they're going through it, that shit's not okay. Say something.
yeah, yeah.
Say something and say it quick.
Yeah.
That's
It's
not
not
okay.
something. Yeah, it's not how the way somebody shows love. It's not somebody's secret. It's not anything. If somebody says a secret and you shouldn't tell anybody, that's the thing you should be telling.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
too many of our children are being harmed. And it's not
Absolutely.
just the daughters, it's the son as well. It's the
Sons as
boys as
well.
well.
You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So,
right.
and and we need to protect them when they do come forward and believe them.
Believe them and not make excuses for the offender.
Exactly. Yes. I
So
don't know how many
again,
times I've heard stories of people choosing the
exactly.
boyfriend over the kids.
That's right. Again, that shit's not okay. Say
Mm-mm.
something. And if you're a young child watching this program, say something. Say something. Call
Find
them
an
out.
adult you trust. Yeah, find an adult you trust who will protect you and help you come forward. It's
Absolutely.
yeah, it's totally yeah. It's a plague on all communities, um, and we don't protect our kids. Like
Exactly.
in the world in general, does not protect children.
That's
Like,
right.
and that's all culture.
Kimberly says, can you see that?
Exactly. Say something quick. Don't wait 40 years. But here's the
That's,
thing: if they wait 40 years, they can still come forward. We're not going to victim shame. If it takes 40 years to come forward, it takes 40 years
that's true. You're right.
because that is how trauma works. You know?
Break it down
And
a little
then
bit.
what's that?
Break it
How
down a little
trauma
bit.
works?
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if somebody has been assaulted, that trauma stays with them and it affects their entire life. So they end up with anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. They don't sleep. They're not eating right. So there's all kinds of things that occur that until they get therapy and become strong enough to come forward where they're able to fight, it could take decades. It could take 20, 30, 40 years to come forward. Sometimes
Exactly.
they finally get enough strength to come forward and it's at the end of their lives and they're not coming forward anymore because there's
Exactly.
no point
Exactly.
to it.
That's right.
It's a lot.
And you can cut the head, the head off of the snake real quick and stop that person from bleeding over on someone else by
Yeah,
saying something. And it's
yeah.
not that person's fault when they're constantly holding this and carrying this for years upon years and decades and whatnot, they start bleeding on other people. But we could stop the bleed before it even starts by opening our mouth and saying something and releasing the secret.
Mm.
Simple
But
as that, man.
well, it's not that simple when you're the one who's been assaulted and you're holding the secret.
I agree. I
So
agree.
we have to give grace and patience to those who are carrying those heavy secrets. because it is deeply affecting their lives, and they need to know that they have a space that they can come forward in. Like
Hey, I see
if
your
there's
Facebook. I see your Facebook user. Hey, how you doing? Good evening. Hey, could you tell us who you are? Because it's not coming across on. We're just seeing a Facebook user. She said hi, Coach D. She's saying hi.
oh, hey
Whoever it
there,
is, they're just tuning in. And they got a couple of
Facebook.
comments.
Yeah, it said, good evening, Trent and Coach Dee just turning in. True, but then they're the ones that will cry wolf. There are very few cases where the women have lied about being assaulted. Statistically, the number of people who lie is minimal. And I like my numbers. So I believe it was 0.03% are
Right.
lies. But here's the thing. People like to talk about the ones who lie, not the ones who are telling the truth.
Yeah. And honestly, man, that's a tough one when you have bad apples in there. You have some
Mhm.
bad apples, but that shouldn't be the first thing that comes out of our mouths when someone say, "Hey, I've been assaulted." Do some
Yeah,
research, talk to them, and dig a little deeper before we say no, it didn't happen.
yeah.
And in
People,
more cases than one, it probably did happen.
yeah. And
You're gonna
like,
have you're gonna have some with issues. You're gonna have them with issues, but dig a little deeper before we start pointing the finger saying no, it didn't happen.
yeah, and if you get 3, 4, or 5 women coming forward, where there's smoke, there's fire.
It's a
It don't
problem.
matter how good you think that person is.
Yeah,
Ain't all that people lying, and it ain't all about money, because most of the time, money is the last thing these women think of when they're coming forward, because they're trying
exactly,
to release a burden that's on their shoulders that affecting their lives.
exactly. Yeah.
So,
In some cases, you do have women that say that use that they'll pull that assault card, but
mhm.
me personally, I truly believe in more cases than one they've actually been assaulted. Someone's
Yeah.
actually been assaulted in cases, but
St-
there are some that
statistic,
do it.
yeah. Statistically, there are some people who lie, but the number who lie is a lot less. The only thing is, you're going to hear about those.
Right.
You hear about those more than you'll hear the people that are truth, because people like to drag victims through the mud.
Yeah.
Oh, what were they wearing? What were they saying? And then
I think
there's
that to me, and to me, that's the most idiotic shit I've ever heard. When
Mhm.
someone gets raped, oh, she must have wanted it.
Yeah, she was asking
Right.
for
Oh,
it. Look
look
what
how
she
she
was
was
wearing.
dressed. Look what she was with. That's some crazy shit, man. That's
There
not
is
right. It's not
yeah.
right. I don't care who you are. Like, if I see a woman, oh, she's nice and she's dressed provocatively and all this other, that don't make me want to penetrate her.
Mhm.
That does not make me want to penetrate her. Sir, you've been a pedophile and a rapist for years. Stop
Yeah,
blaming her. Don't do that to her.
yeah.
I
There's
hate that
there.
when guys say that, man. Like, oh, she must have won. What you mean, man?
Well, here's an interesting thing that I was talking. A friend of mine was talking to. She goes, "You know why these men are so homophobic?" And I'm like, "Why?" I said, "Because they think men who like men look at them the same way they look at women."
Exactly.
And I was like, "Damn, I never thought of that." I'm like, somebody should tell them they're not all that. Then. I'm like,
Exactly.
it's interesting. And there is a museum, I would have to find the name for it, that has an exhibit of what
Hmm.
women were wearing when they were assaulted. And I think one of
Come
the
on,
saddest one is a wedding gown.
come on, man.
Yeah. There's a nun's outfit, there's uniforms, there's school children's clothing.
I don't get that. I don't get that. I mean, I'm the type of guy. If I have to take it, I don't want it.
You
Like,
don't think like that though.
that's crazy, though. I just don't get that. Like,
Well,
I don't
remember,
get that.
some people think that women are only here to please men, and that's our sole purpose.
That's
That's
crazy.
it. That women have no views, thoughts, or anything like that.
Yeah,
That's why I laugh at that whole divine feminine and divine masculine thing, because it's uh its sole purpose is to keep women subjugated. And people are like, no, Dee, it's to embrace your femininity. I'm like, you can embrace your femininity, and still have logic. There's no logic on the woman's side of that chart.
So wait a minute. So you're saying people say that you can't be logical and soft at the same time? That's what you're saying?
No, sir. Have you looked at the Divine Feminine Church? Maybe that would be our conversation for next week.
Well, okay. That's
Listen,
crazy to me though, man. Like, so okay, that says that you don't want a logical thinker around you. Like, if I want a woman that's a logical thinker, we need to be
yeah.
logically thinking together. I don't want you
Oh,
over there. Come on, we got to figure this shit out. This is life.
sir, if you look at that
Come
chart,
on, man.
you will see that women are considered to be, we're not leaders. We have no executive functioning, right? Whereas if obviously women have executive functioning, female financial um what's the word I'm thinking of? Managers make more money than men
Right,
for
right,
their
right,
clients
right.
because they look at the big picture, not the short term.
Yeah.
You know,
I've
it's
never been. I've never been the type of guy. I don't want the timid woman, man. Say something. Talk back a little bit. Do
but
something.
that
Talk
but
back.
that is because you are secure. Oh, there we go. I got the
What's
title for next Sunday.
Go ahead.
Alpha male or just insecure.
All hate mail goes to D
That's
Layler
it.
at
Let me
Gmail.
write that down before I forget. Yeah.
Text it to me so I can write it up. You causing trouble again.
Listen, I love messy Sundays because we get to have conversations and we get to talk about the stuff that people don't like to talk about.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. And then
People
the reason why I enjoy Messy Sundays because we when we do the pre-recordings for the all the justice shows and all this stuff, we're talking about policies and that stuff gets heavy, man. It gets real heavy, and you come in with the numbers, and that gets kind of heavy. So Messy Sundays kind of release from that and
Mhm.
getting into it.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It's good to see because and I like messy Sunday because we don't even though much to Slash's dislike, we don't always stay on topic. So
hey, but that's what the Gumbo Talk is about, right?
right, we gotta mix it up a little bit. But
Exactly.
it's so interesting to watch conversations on social media about assaults like that, especially that one with the lady where her poor son had to come and defend herself.
That kid,
It,
that man,
it
even in my
you know,
condition, I'd have to go to the car for him and put a hot one in him. I'd have to put a hot one in him, even in
it
my condition.
yeah, it's saddened me to watch nobody defend her, and it's saddened me even more to read the comments from
And here's the
men
thing:
defending him.
I got a message from Kathy out of North Carolina. She said that his girlfriend was egging him on.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
That's
There are
crazy to
women who
me.
hate other women. Yeah,
That's crazy to me. And then
yeah,
after her son, he was charged and booked. Then the charges were dropped. So the
hmm
lady, she did a press conference. She wasn't just your average. She wasn't your average broad. She was
yeah,
very educated. She was very educated, and she wasn't. You could tell she wasn't a problematic type chick. She wasn't like that. You could
yeah,
tell. Her whole demeanor said something totally different.
yeah.
And I used to travel a lot, during the conversation days back in the day over into Chicago. They got some ignorant cats up there, man. They're real ignorant, real ignorant.
hmm Oh yeah.
Got to keep it a buck. I had a huge following, still have a huge following over there in Chicago. But a lot of the
Oh,
guys, they were ignorant, man, especially on the South Side.
I had an incident when I was in Toronto. This younger guy was asking for money for the bus.
Right.
And I was like, I was like, I got some change. I said, I gave him money for the bus, and then I got in line to get my Tim's because was working night shift, right? But I
Right.
had to do I had to go, I don't know what I was doing, but I had to get some paperwork done, so I needed a coffee. So I'm in
Right.
line, and he asked me for more money. I'm like, I only have enough for a coffee. And he started cursing me out and stepped to me. Now, I may be polite, and I may have been in heels, but I looked him straight in the face. I said, you come 1 inch closer, and you're going to be on the ground
Right.
and everybody will be laughing at you. I am not the one, and not today. And he's like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm like, come on, keep coming. But here's the thing,
Exactly.
I was trained in non in um
Yeah, you buy that life.
hand to
Hey,
hand.
folks, Don't let
Yeah,
the Canadian accent fool you, because she about that life.
yeah. I was trained in hand-to-hand combat, and I used to spar with my uncle when I was a kid.
She
And I
about
have a
that life.
mean right hook, and I know I have a mean right hook. So you know what? I'm not intimidated. I still would have been caught off guard by that gentleman, like lamb,
Right.
like coming at her
Okay,
like
the
that.
only thing that troubled me, like the assault, of course, but when I saw that man run past the camera, going away from it,
Yeah,
that troubled me. That really troubled me.
yeah. Like
Like,
just
because they had the
even come up
opportunity,
behind him
man.
and grab him or something to
Exactly.
stop him.
Just like I told Brother Ramiel, I guarantee you, if any brother would have stepped, say, hey, man, we're not about to do this.
Yeah.
We're not about to do this. You better grab your food, get out of here before something happened to you. I guarantee he would have stopped.
Oh yeah, because
Guarantee.
most of those guys are intimidated by other men.
Exactly. I guarantee
They
he would have
know,
stopped.
yeah, they know that they can beat on women because they most of the time can't fight back. But a
Exactly.
man is a different story. And coming toe to toe with a man, they're gonna inch off because they're insecure little wimps.
That's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy,
You know?
crazy. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's domestic violence is horrible. Um, we and it's a trauma cycle. So if somebody is in a domestic violence situation and they don't leave and they keep going back, don't say, "Oh, you keep going back." There's reasons for it. It's eventually they will, hopefully. But here's the thing:
Uh,
our system protects the man,
I can
not the
agree with
woman.
that. I agree
Yeah,
with that.
it's really hard to get a restraining order. Like
Here's a
I had to
comment.
stop. Yeah. Oh,
Here's a comment, and
um,
I know it's Kimberly saying this. She hasn't put her name there yet, but
she says,
that's
"I like
Kimberly. I
the
know she's talking.
yeah hand in hand combat. I feel you on that. Heels are a weapon too." Yeah. Well, listen, I wasn't
Kimberly,
getting my.
I grew up
Oh,
with Kimberly. I'll tell you a quick story about Kimberly. I grew up with Kimberly. Kimberly, I grew up like 9, 10 years old or whatever. She used to beat me up on the block.
yay, good for her.
She used to beat me up. She used to beat me up a lot. But
Do
now
you
she's a good
deserve it?
friend of mine. I did because I used to give her a hard time.
There you go.
We lived
Yeah.
like 3 houses apart, and I used to give her a hard time.
Yeah.
But she was
I
tough. She played football with us and everything.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Me and my cousins didn't get trouble like that. I think a couple of my cousins have scars from having things thrown at them when we were kids.
right,
But
right.
it's
Looking at her, guys would be like, "Oh man, she don't play football like you thought. You don't think we play football every day after school?"
yeah.
Uh,
It's but here's the thing: black women aren't given their femininity. Our femininity is denied because we are not the epitome of what femininity looks like. Femininity is reserved for white women. That whole defined feminine thing is reserved for white women. And the reason I say that is because it's written by a white man.
right, right,
And the,
right.
and the patriarchy has never been to protect black women. If it was, our black maternal rates wouldn't be so high,
Absolutely,
right? We wouldn't be dying in
absolutely,
childbirth at 3 times the of everybody else. Right?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
it's I think our society needs to have some difficult conversations and stop keeping things behind closed doors.
Well, that's what we're doing on
Yeah.
Wednesday. So
Yeah.
we have those difficult conversations.
Yeah. And like the fewer people we protect, the better. Like when
Yeah,
they like start naming names when things come out. Like nowadays with the internet, everything is Googleable,
Hey, you know
searchable.
what's so funny? I'm glad you said that. When I was cutting the tape, and we was talking about the thing that happened in Mississippi.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, I can't believe she named all these guys by name, first and last.
Yeah, because it is out there, and I did say alleged, so we
You
don't get
did
sued.
exactly,
But
exactly.
an update on that: the couple of days ago, the FBI was at the Taylorsville Police Department. So
Good stuff.
no,
Good stuff.
I'm not going to say anything is going to happen because they're all buddies.
Right.
So we'll see. But it's getting interesting here in DC. They had three businesses hit with Molotov cocktails.
Wow.
So, like stuff like it's getting crazy. The violence is getting out of
Wow.
control.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, it's gonna be a hot summer,
Absolutely.
and we got
Well,
all those.
Kimberly says. Kimberly says.
1 second. Oh,
I think I lost her. You there? She'll be back. She'll be back in a second, folks.
are you
There
there?
you go.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
I'm not. Yeah, just bring the comments out because I
Okay, guys.
almost got rid of you.
Go ahead.
They said I don't know why you can't see my profile picture.
She's
I'm
probably going through. She's probably going through the group, and there's a function on that. There's actual prompt to actually share your profile with us. So that's why we can't see it. That's the whole Facebook thing. So yeah,
yeah, and Facebook wants money for everything. So,
exactly.
but yeah, it's secrets are our downfall. Like
Exactly. It's never
humans as a
kind.
society are not as advanced as we like to think we are. Because 9 times out of 10 we do things that are not in our own benefit.
Exactly.
So
We got one
we
more
had
comment.
to. Oh, go ahead.
Let me pull up here 1 second. There you go.
Society doesn't want to have those truthful conversations because it hurts. They'd rather believe a lie. Yep, that's true. That is probably the truest thing ever.
Pretty much.
And people like being lied to. They like living in the bubble because if they're comfortable, their bubble's a good space.
Exactly.
I was watching a show where it was an older show, and the lady was waxing poetical about when she was growing up and the scenery and everything. And she had Richard Pryor was sitting beside her, and she was talking about the beautiful magnolia trees, and she was going on about the South and in her youth, and he just mentions lynchings. Like,
this is a Richard Pryor special.
I don't. It was not Richard Pryor. It was on Johnny Carson.
Gotcha.
It was a clip I was watching because
I know he went in.
And you know what? You know who was an amazing person to listen to that people don't listen to enough?
Who?
James Baldwin.
Yeah.
And I tell people, read his books and listen to what he has to say, because the things he said then still apply now.
Still apply today.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't read anything by James Baldwin, I encourage you that you do. You should.
Yeah.
Excellent, brother.
It's interesting, and I was talking to a friend, she's like, Dee, you know why those people don't want all those history books coming out? They don't want to have to explain to their kids why Nanny's picture is next to a kid having ice cream over his head and she's yelling at them.
Exactly.
Or why they're yelling at a 5-year-old going to school.
He left a ton of gems before he left this planet.
Oh, yeah.
He left a ton of gems.
Yep.
I love that brother, man. James Baldwin. Look him up, folks. I'm telling you. You won't regret it.
No. And there's a time when there's a lot of secrets.
Absolutely.
That was definitely a time of a lot of secrets. And even now, people keep secrets for their own safety, for our LGBTQ community. I understand that secret. I respect that secret, and do not come out if you are not safe. If you do not feel safe. That's probably the only secret that I think is one that needs to be kept if necessary for your own safety. Because it is a dangerous period we live in right now.
Yeah,
it is dangerous.
We don't do the violence thing, man. We don't do the violence thing.
No, man. I was looking at articles on it was another youth minister down south who was charged with child pornography. I'm like, gee, he doesn't look like a drag queen. And I was one of my friends. I forget what state it was, but it was down south, like 3,000 child porn pictures gone with.
You know,
and then what's that?
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was in Covington.
Is that where it was?
I think that was Covington, Louisiana.
It was, yeah. I believe that's right. Yeah.
Covington's like about an hour from here.
Yeah. But it happens all the time. And then I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I used to watch Catch a Predator all the time, and not once did I see a drag queen on there. I was like, that was all straight men.
Amen. And you know
Listen,
what over the years, what I've learned, man, just let people live their life. Leave them alone.
yeah,
Simple as that, man. I mean, if you don't agree with the lifestyle, keep it pushing. Whatever.
it's
Keep
not a
it pushing.
lifestyle, it's who they are. And I tell people that
Whatever it is,
my
whatever the
yeah,
situation may be, just
I tell
it's
people is
nobody. To me personally, it's nobody's business. So why even stick your nose in something that doesn't even concern you? That don't.
well, here's the thing.
If that's who they are, that's who they are.
The Bible
Is
was
what it
changed
is.
because people like to use the Bible. So the first translation was "Do not sleep with boys." Then it was changed to men,
Hey
right?
man,
And
when you
well, here's the thing. If you don't like the way somebody lives, then you do not understand God's creativity.
my thing
And
is,
that's
man,
all there is to it.
well,
I
where I'm
per-
at in life, where I'm at in life is after having, I died twice.
mhm.
I have no interest in judging anyone,
Yeah,
and just let people live. That's where I'm
listen,
at. And I was having a conversation with Tammy earlier today. She gave me a call, and we normally talk on Sunday sometimes.
tell
And
her I said hi. She's amazing.
yeah, she asked what we're doing, doing a show tonight. I told her yeah, but I'm just in a space of my life where, hey man, live and let live.
Listen, I think a
You know,
lot more Christians should open the Bible to the book of Matthew because Matthew tells us,
stop
as
quoting
Jesus
scripture.
said, to love thy neighbor as thyself. There is no but or if there ba, you know, that's all there is. Love thy neighbor as thyself.
For all you Bible packing folks, please, before you actually attack her, she actually went to college for some of that stuff. So,
Yeah, I have a
don't
biblical
try it,
studies degree,
please.
but here's the thing: they know that Jesus said that, so they're not going to attack me because they know I'm right.
She knows the
Unless they're
Bible
look, unless
scriptures, so
unless they're
please.
looking at a Bible built for slaves, because we know that Bible didn't have all the books in it. And you can go to the Museum of Bibles, the
We're gonna
Museum
save it
of
for another
Bibles,
show.
and you can see it.
We're gonna save it for another show.
Listen,
Let's get to the comments real quick.
don't get me started on religion.
I know. That's why I'm stopping you.
All right. If the truth makes you uncomfortable, don't blame the truth. Blame the lie that made you comfortable. That was a
Ooh,
quote I saw on Facebook, and I thought it was so profound. Yeah, it
ooh,
is.
it
If
is.
the truth makes bring it back up again so I can reread it.
Gotcha.
If the truth makes you uncomfortable, don't blame the truth. Blame the lie that made you comfortable.
Ooh,
I like that.
that's some serious trauma in that one quote. I love that.
Hmm. Yep.
I love that, man.
People love being comfortable. It's easy.
Exactly.
It's
I had
easy
a
being
conversation.
comfortable.
I had a conversation with my niece on
Hmm.
yesterday. So we were talking about certain things, some personal stuff with the family and whatnot. She was like, Uncle Trini. She calls me Uncle Trini. Uncle Trini, you never say nothing. You never talk about it. It could be totally against me, but I know I'm right. The truth. It's the truth. So I told her, I said, I never address issues like that, and because the truth gonna always outrun the lie.
Hmm.
I said, I'm still running. So the
Yeah.
truth will always outrun the lie. You just got to stand in there and keep it going. Because why would I address anything that I know and that's a lie? Why would I have to
Yeah.
address it? I don't believe that's not arrogance. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being honest with myself. I'm not gonna have that conversation with you. I'm not gonna have the $2.10 conversation with you. We'll save that for the waiter.
Hmm. Yeah.
Truth's gonna always outrun a lie.
It is. It's like they say, the truth will set you free,
Pretty much.
right?
Pretty
And
much.
secrets, um, secrets do not help. They're harmful most of the time, unless it's one that you're keeping for your own safety, for our friends and family in the LGBTQA. And I understand that, and my heart goes out to you, the harm that you are facing currently. Um, I wish, I wish our world was more understanding.
Exactly.
Like
Well,
right now, we're at the cusp of fascism. We have a presidential candidate talking about going to do everything he can to keep down the woke crowd.
uh,
You have Mothers for Liberty
There's
using Adolf Hitler as quotes. Like, we're
there's a
in
ton
a
of folks that woke. Good luck, Donald. There's a ton of folks that's woke. Good luck.
Donald needs to go to jail.
Pretty
How
much.
that man has, like, cause he's still got the Georgia thing that's coming down, and now they're releasing they had phone calls in another state. So
Exactly. He's through. They just got to follow through. He's through.
to be rich
So
and
it's eight.
powerful in the United States is to have an amazing resource of lack of accountability.
We'll save that for Wednesday.
Yeah, that is definitely
Hey,
a
listen,
Wednesday
it's 8
conversation.
Central, 9 Eastern. What's your teachable moment?
Release yourself from secrets that do not help you.
Exactly. That's good
If
stuff.
you need support, make sure you get support. Make sure you reach out for help, you get therapy, but release yourself and allow that burden off your shoulders.
Exactly. My teachable moment is, why lie when you could tell the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said again, the truth will always outrun the lie. The truth will always outrun the lie. So why lie when you can tell the truth and you can heal an entire family?
Yep.
Simple
Sounds
as
good.
that. Simple as that. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in, always supporting Coach D and I right here on the Conversation with Trent and Friends, featuring the lovely Coach D, always bringing the top knowledge and all that good stuff, from coaching on trauma, coaching on all sorts of things, man. So if you guys want to reach out to her for some type of, work, you can contact her at dlayler@gmail.com. She's a wonderful trauma coach. I recommend her, and all that good stuff in between.
Yeah.
All that good
So
stuff.
what do you want to talk about on
Meditations, all that
Wednesday?
stuff. Go ahead.
What do you want to talk about Wednesday?
It's up to you. You're on a roll. So what you got?
Let's talk about white nationalism within the police forces and the Proud Boys.
Everybody go mess around with Coach D.
Yeah, let's talk about the Proud Boys.
It's all good. We'll do that. We'll definitely talk about the Proud Boys. And on next Sunday, we're talking about alpha. What was that?
Alpha male or just insecure?
On Messy Sunday, right here on the B2G Unity Network.
Yeah. Because alpha males never say they're alpha males. They don't have to.
Exactly. So until next Sunday, we'll see you guys. And actually, we'll be pre-recording the Proud Boys, talking about the Proud Boys on a pre-record to be released directly to the Roku channel. So we really appreciate you guys. Any closing remarks, Coach D, so we get out?
No, I love you all. Thank you all for coming out and listening. My business manager, young Mr. Xavier, says 10,000 before we do any live in-person shows. So get those numbers up before we can come out.
Good stuff. And with that being said, you guys be epic. We'll see you guys on the other side of Sunday.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward, to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.